In the dimly lit corners of the rundown group home, 11-year-old Sam moved like a ghost among the other children who laughed and played, oblivious to his silence. He felt like a forgotten shadow, a wisp of a boy drifting through days marked by the echo of shouts and the warmth of fleeting camaraderie that he could never quite reach. It wasn't that he didn't want to join in. He simply couldn't. It was a wall constructed of invisible pain and the deep-rooted fear of feeling unwanted, a fear that clung to him like a second skin, reminding him of being left behind. Days blurred into one another, the colors of his world fading to gray as he navigated the familiar terrain of the common room, the creaky stairs and the frigid dormitory where his only companions were the cold, lumpy mattress and the haunting memories of laughter that belonged to someone else. If you also feel this ache in your chest, consider liking and subscribing. Someone else might need to hear this story today. One afternoon, seeking refuge from the vibrant chaos that surrounded him, Sam wandered away to the abandoned train yard on the outskirts of the city. The clanging of old metal against rust was a welcome contrast to the noise echoing in his mind. There was a certain magic in the stillness, the remnants of the past whispering stories of journeys taken, friendships formed, and dreams shared. As he approached a dilapidated train car, its once bright colors now faded and peeling, he felt a flicker of something. Hope, perhaps, that he rarely allowed himself to embrace. Climbing aboard, Sam hesitated as dust motes danced in the dim light, filtering through cracked windows. Cobwebs adorned the corners like forgotten memories, but the space resonated with a warmth only he could feel, as if the train car was waiting for him, holding secrets meant just for him. As he explored the interior, each creak of the floorboards beneath him increased his pulse, a curious thrill washing over him. His eyes were drawn to a loose floorboard that seemed oddly out of place. Kneeling down, Sam pried it open, his heart racing with anticipation and a bit of trepidation. Buried underneath, he discovered an envelope, worn and weathered by time, yet unmistakably addressed to him. Sam, it read, in ink that had faded but not lost its essence. With trembling hands, he pulled the envelope out, feeling its weight, an anchor to the past he had long avoided confronting. Carefully, he opened it, feeling an electric jolt shoot through him as a sense of promise surged upon his discovery. This might be the gateway to understanding, to answering the questions that haunted him at night. As he unfolded the letter, he sensed the air shift around him, the world outside the train car fading away, leaving only the fragile hope of connection, of belonging, a long-lost thread woven back into the fabric of his existence. As the letter unfolded in Sam's hands, each word ignited memories he had buried beneath the weight of silence. The familiar scent of his mother's perfume wafted through his mind, a warm reminder of moments when he could curl up in her arms, enveloped by her love. The letter was more than just ink on paper. It was a window into a past that seemed lost forever, and it filled him with a mix of hope and heartache. The words flowed like a gentle stream, recounting her dreams for him, her aspirations, and the love that overflowed in her heart. But each line also reminded him of the gaping hole left in his life when she vanished, like leaves swept away in a bitter autumn wind. As he read, memories surged forth. He could almost feel the laughter that filled their small apartment, their cheerful debates over what to have for dinner, and the rhythmic sounds of her humming while she cooked. They painted a picture of a life that had once been vibrant. Her presence was wrapped in spices and sweet laughter, blended with the bedtime stories she recited, with voice soft like silk wrapping him in warmth on cold winter nights. But that comforting cafe of memories was suddenly overshadowed by darkness, the shadow of that last day, when the warmth faded, replaced by an icy grasp of silence that engulfed him in an endless void. Closing his eyes tightly, Sam let the memories wash over him. He remembered the lonely nights spent in the group home where laughter echoed down the hall but never seemed to find him. The coldness of those nights buried deeper than he dared to admit, a loneliness that felt as if it wrapped around him like a suffocating blanket. It was hard to remember the sound of true joy, a melody drowned by uncertainty. In that group home where the walls were painted with faded hope, each child wore their sadness like a badge, each laugh tinged with an understanding of longing, a desire to find where they belonged. Finishing the letter, Sam felt hot tears prickling at the corners of his eyes, a mixture of sorrow and bittersweet relief. Words flowed from the letter, revealing a truth that pierced his heart. His mother had battled an illness that consumed her, rendering her unable to care for him. The complexity of her choice landed on him like a weight. She had not abandoned him by desire, but rather by circumstance, a cruel twist of fate set against the tapestry of their lives. Understanding her struggle, he felt anger dissolve into a deeper empathy. knitting together the pieces of his heart and forging a new connection with her spirit. With resolution taking root inside him, Sam realized he needed to do more than dwell in the shadows of their shared history. He needed to draw them out into the light. This train yard, with its rusting metal and forgotten posts, was not a mere graveyard of lost dreams, but a treasure trove of memories waiting to be unearthed. Emboldened by the letter filled with love and revelation, he stepped down from the train car, a sense of exhilaration coursing through him. Sam felt as though he had been granted permission to explore fragments of a world he had not yet known. With renewed determination, he began to sift through the remnants scattered throughout the train yard, seeking connections to the life that had once belonged to his mother. Each item was a potential puzzle piece, a fragment of history whispering its secrets to him. He flipped over rusted pieces of metal, feeling for anything that might unlock a memory or a story. Photographs littered the ground, each one dusty but still vibrant with life. He knelt to examine them, the images revealing faces filled with smiles, a collage of moments shared before misfortune struck. Among those photographs, one caught his eye, depicting a young woman with flowing hair and a beaming smile standing in front of a faded carousel. The captured joy radiated from her, and Sam felt an intense longing to know her story. Was this a friend from her childhood? Someone who had meant something to her? The image stirred a desire to learn more about the life that had brought those smiles to her lips, the one that felt so closely entwined with his own existence. As he combed through the debris, his fingers brushed against an old silver locket buried in the dirt. The cool metal gleamed faintly beneath the grime, and he gently picked it up, brushing off the dirt to reveal the delicate engravings on its surface. It felt familiar against his fingertips, a piece of the past he yearned to connect with. As he opened it, he found an old photograph inside, worn yet radiating warmth, a younger version of his mother smiling back at him. Sam's heart fluttered at the sight, a tangible link to her humanity. He imagined her hands as a child playing with this very locket, turning it over and over as if the memories inside warmed her in the same way they now warmed him. In that moment, the locket transformed from a mere trinket into a symbol of heritage, a testament to the love he had thought lost. Sam pressed it against his heart, a silent vow promising that he would seek more of her life, digging deeper into the stories that had shaped them. Every item he discovered wove together a narrative, pulling him closer to his mother and laying the groundwork to reclaim the pieces of their lives together. With each new layer he uncovered, he could feel his past aligning with a brighter future, one where loss transformed into connection. This journey was about moving forward, lighting the path toward understanding, healing, and ultimately finding himself, an exploration to reveal not only who she had been, but who he was destined to become. With the locket carefully stowed in his pocket, Sam felt a rush of determination as he set out to explore the train yard, now more than just ruins of forgotten dreams. This place was a repository of memories waiting to be unearthed. He was no longer just an orphan adrift in a sea of uncertainty. He was on a quest to reclaim the past that connected him to his mother. Every turn and shadow pulsed with possibility, urging him to dig deeper. As he ventured further into the yard, he spotted an old toolbox lying half buried in the dirt, rusted but still intact. Kneeling beside it, he opened the lid, revealing an assortment of tools, each a relic of faded labor. What caught his eye, however, was a stained notebook lurking at the bottom. Dust coated its surface, but something about it whispered to him, beckoning him to take a closer look. When he pulled the notebook out, the delicate pages crinkled softly beneath his fingers. As he flipped through them, a world sprung to life filled with sketches, doodles, and thoughts penned in his mother's graceful handwriting. There were drawings of flowers bursting with color, playful animals, and whimsical scenery that seemed to dance off the page. One sketch stood out, a carousel, much like the one in the photograph he had found earlier. It captured not only the intricacy of the ride, but also the joy it represented, swirling with colors that echoed laughter and freedom. Reading her words alongside the images, Sam felt an undeniable connection to her spirit, a moment of intimacy he had longed for since her absence. The dreams she had poured onto the pages were tangible fragments of her identity, revealing her creativity and boundless imagination. He could easily picture her, paint-stained fingers gripping the brush, lost in her craft, fabricating beautiful worlds as she created a life filled with joy. Overwhelmed by a sense of belonging, Sam tucked the notebook under his arm and surveyed the surrounding area. He knew he had to find more pieces of his mother's story. As he navigated through the yard, his eyes landed on a pile of canvases, leaning precariously against a weathered fence. Curious, he approached them, feeling an air of anticipation. The canvases showcased more of her artistic endeavors, some splashed with color, others waiting for inspiration. One particular painting caught his breath, an ethereal sunset, vibrant oranges and deep purples swirling together, framed by silhouettes of trees. It spoke of warmth and beauty, inviting him to lose himself in the serenity it depicted. Each brushstroke felt like a piece of her heart captured in time, a reminder of the light she had once brought into the world. Sam reached out and touched the canvas, feeling a warmth radiate from it. This was his mother's sanctuary, a place where she could express herself without fear or judgment. As he absorbed the depth of her artistry, he felt a stirring inside, a realization that the creative spirit she had embodied was also coursing through him. He wanted to embrace this connection, to live a life that honored her legacy. Surveying the remnants of the yard, Sam discovered a small oak trunk, partially hidden beneath a tangle of grass. A surge of curiosity propelled him forward, and he pried it open with a gentle tug. Inside, he found a trove of carefully folded letters tied with a faded ribbon. They were addressed to someone named Lydia, a name that sent ripples of confusion and excitement through him. Who was Lydia? Sam instinctively felt that this could be another piece of the puzzle leading him closer to understanding his mother's life. With careful hands, he untied the ribbon and pulled out a letter, its paper soft and fragile. As he began to read, the words unfurled a tale of love and longing, revealing glimpses of his mother's friendships, emotional struggles, and dreams. Each letter painted a picture of her life, a vibrant tapestry woven with relationships that stretched beyond the boundaries of her challenges. They expressed heartache and hope, revealing layers of her experience that formed the bedrock of who she was. Sam pored over the letters, absorbing the rich emotions contained within them. He felt the weight of her words pulling him closer to her essence, connecting him to a past he had only glimpsed. Through the joy and pain, he discovered the resilience that had defined her, an indomitable spirit that had struggled against the odds but never lost its capacity to love. This journey through the train yard transformed from a search for objects into an exploration of a life profoundly intertwined with his own. The echoes of her laughter mingled with his growing understanding, and with each letter and discovery, Sam felt himself stepping into a larger narrative filled with purpose and love. Determined to honor his mother's memory, Sam abandoned the feeling of isolation as he learned to embrace the legacy she had gifted him. Every canvas, every letter, and every moment of inspiration ignited a deeper connection as he struggled to uncover who he was meant to be. He was no longer just a forgotten child, but someone searching to reclaim a narrative filled with hope, love, and resilience that would light the path ahead, enabling him to not only understand his mother, but also rediscover himself. Every letter Sam unfolded seemed to breathe life into the void that had long echoed within him. Each word was a window, a glimpse into his mother's heart, revealing the intricate web of her life's experiences. He could see her emotions spilling forth on the page, her hopes intermingling with the sadness and challenges that marked her journey. Lydia, her confidant, became a guiding thread, weaving connections between moments that had shaped his mother. Who was she? What role did she play in this story of resilience and survival? With each passing day, each letter from the trunk drew Sam further into this labyrinth of love and loss. He pored over them, piecing together narratives of laughter shared over coffee, dreams discussed under the starlit sky, and the late-night talks that echoed the burdens they both carried. Lydia had been more than a mere name. She was a pillar of support, a sister in spirit, and he could sense the depth of their bond through the ink. As autumn descended on the yard, the foliage shimmered in hues of gold and rust, mirroring the changes within Sam. He felt like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, a newfound sense of identity blossoming alongside the vibrant colors. With a restless energy, he decided that it was time to seek out Lydia, to uncover the woman who had woven herself so deeply into his mother's life. The letters often mentioned a small town not far from the city, Willow Creek. Sam's heart raced at the thought of finding her, of bridging the gap between the past and the present to learn how this unexpected connection could reshape his understanding of family. As he prepared to leave, he tucked the locket securely in his pocket, confident that it would accompany him on this journey of discovery. He gathered the letters, clutching them tightly as a map guiding his steps forward. Memories of the train yard flickered through his mind. Each rusty train car, each canvas, every letter, they all served as beacons, illuminating not only his mother's legacy, but also the path he needed to tread. The bus ride to Willow Creek was filled with anticipation and a pinch of nervousness. He felt like a stranger venturing into unknown territory. As the landscape transitioned from the urban sprawl to serene country roads, he inhaled the crisp air, feeling the promise of fresh beginnings filling his lungs. The small town unfolded before him, nestled among sprawling fields that whispered secrets in the wind. Finding her house was like uncovering a hidden gem, quaint and charming, with ivy climbing the brick facade. His heart pounded as he approached, unsure of what awaited him inside. The rhythmic knock on the door echoed like a heartbeat, and he held his breath, waiting. A moment later, the door swung open, revealing Lydia, her bright eyes filled with surprise and curiosity. "Can I help you?" she asked, her voice full of warmth. "Are you Lydia?" Sam stammered, feeling the weight of destiny resting on the brink of their shared moment. "Yes, that's me," she replied, studying him slightly, her brow furrowing in wonder. "And you are?" "I'm Sam," he managed, feeling his pulse quicken. "I'm your friend's son." Silence enveloped the moment, as surprise dawned on her face. "You must mean Rose." "Yes, Rose," he said, feeling a mix of elation and apprehension. "I've been looking for you." Lydia stepped aside, motioning him in, and Sam crossed the threshold into a space that felt immediately welcoming. The walls were lined with bookshelves, bursting with stories just waiting to be told. The air carried hints of vanilla and something distinctly floral, lifting his spirits as he took a seat at the small kitchen table. As they settled in, Sam shared everything: the letters, the locket, his unwavering desire to understand his mother. Lydia listened with enrapt attention, her eyes glistening as he recounted the details. "Your mother was an extraordinary person," she finally said, her voice soft yet unwavering. "She was deeply loved, and she loved fiercely in return." Tears pricked at his eyes, and he felt the tidal wave of emotion surging within him. Lydia unfolded stories, the laughter they shared while painting, the fears she had during her illness, and the promise she made to never let Sam be forgotten. With the recounting, the pieces began to connect, providing clarity to muddled memories. "She thought of you every day," Lydia continued. "Even in her darkest moments, you were her light. She wanted to protect you from the pain she faced." Hearing those words was like balm to his soul. He felt a newfound strength solidifying within him, and the weight of grief that had previously shackled him began to lift. "I always wondered why she had to leave," he confessed, the tremor in his voice revealing the depth of his anguish. Lydia reached across the table, placing a gentle hand on his. "She didn't want to abandon you. She fought tirelessly to stay, but life had other plans." Her response ignited a flame of understanding, and as they navigated through shared stories, he uncovered layers of his mother's journey he had never imagined. They laughed, cried, and spoke in the sacred language of healing. Time seemed to dissolve in that cozy kitchen, and with every moment, Sam felt pieces of himself falling into place. Before he left, Lydia gifted him a small box. It was filled with more letters, unopened until now. "These are from Rose to you, words she never got to say directly," she explained. "I wanted you to have them. It's time for you to carry her voice forward." With the box cradled in his arms and Lydia's unwavering support behind him, Sam felt ready to embrace this new chapter. He stepped back into the world beyond her door, and the chilly autumn air surrounded him like a comforting embrace. The weight of the past no longer anchored him. Instead, it propelled him forward, igniting a fire within him that ensured he would carry his mother's spirit with him. Returning to the train yard that once felt so desolate, Sam entered it anew, the echoes of laughter intertwining with memories of grief now replaced with hope. The tools, letters, and canvases all exuded the spirit of resilience and love his mother had instilled in him. He knew that in redefining his narrative he could flourish, a legacy of art, love, and life stretching far beyond the constraints of sorrow, leading him to a bright, promising future steeped in connection and understanding. Princesses and dragons, laughter and stories, these were all pieces of the life he would now carry, a proud testament to a mother he would never forget and a life he was ready to embrace. The box of letters felt like a treasure chest tucked under Sam's arm as he walked back toward the entrance of the train yard, the air crisp with the onset of winter. The world around him felt different. Colors seemed more vivid, the sunlight brighter, and every breath he took was filled with renewed hope and purpose. With each step he envisioned the words written for him by his mother, brimming with wisdom and love. They were his now to uncover, and with that responsibility came the comforting weight of connection. He settled onto the wooden bench that had become a sacred spot during his time in the yard, a place where he had encountered pieces of his mother's spirit. The box rested on his lap, and with trembling fingers he untied the ribbon. The act felt monumental, as if he were not only unfurling paper but also unraveling the essence of his mother's heart. He took a deep breath, allowing the fragrant scent of old paper and ink to envelop him like a warm hug. As he opened the first letter, the familiar handwriting greeted him, a swirl of ink dancing across the page. The words brought her voice to him, her laughter echoing in his mind. Sam read aloud, savoring each line. In those letters, she shared what it meant to be a mother, her dreams for him, snippets of advice that felt both intimate and timeless. She wrote about the importance of chasing dreams, of embracing creativity, and of never losing sight of who you are, no matter the obstacles facing you. I want you to find joy in everything you do, she had scribbled. Life may not always go as planned, but there is always beauty to be found in the unexpected. Sam smiled as he traced the pained curves of her letters, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over him. Every sentence was a lifeline, pulling him closer to the essence of who he was meant to be. The tears that fell silently down his cheeks were a mix of sorrow and joy, a testament to the love that had transcended the years. He was the sum of her dreams and her struggles, and now it was time to honor her legacy by living fully, courageously, and authentically. He set the first letter aside and picked up another, discovering more of her thoughts. An account of the day she had gone to the beach, letting the sun warm her face as she collected shells. "You love the ocean, my sweet boy," she had written. "The way the waves crash on the shore, the salty air, it's a symphony of nature, a reminder that life rolls in ebbs and flows." Sam envisioned her strolling along that sandy expanse, light reflecting off the waves, feeling free. In that moment, he could almost hear the rhythmic roar of the ocean. He made a silent promise to visit the beach, to experience the beauty she cherished and find peace in the waves, just as she once had. As he delved deeper into the box, the letters began to piece together not just his mother's past, but his own journey forward. There were stories of her early artistic endeavors, the courage it took to share her work even in the face of adversity and rejection. "Art is an expression of who we are," she'd written. "It reveals our truths, our hearts. Never shy away from showing the world your colors." Inspired, Sam felt a burgeoning desire to create, to honor her artistic spirit. That night, he returned home and spent hours pulling together paints and brushes, canvas and crayons, anything that could bring forth the ripples of inspiration bubbling inside him. He began to paint, pouring his heart and aching nostalgia onto the canvas. Each stroke was a testament to his mother's influence, recreating the vibrancy of her spirit that now coursed through him. In the weeks that followed, he transformed the once desolate train yard into a sanctuary of color and creativity, filling the air with laughter and joy as he invited children from the neighborhood to join him. They painted together, weaving tales through color, forming a small community that echoed the warmth and love his mother had shared with him. On a crisp Saturday morning, laughter erupted like the sun peeking through clouds. The children explored the corners of the yard, each armed with brushes and palettes of paint. Sam guided them as they splashed colors across the canvas, their creations reflecting the innocence and brilliance of childhood. "Let your imagination soar," he encouraged, feeling that same encompassing love flow through him, as if both he and his mother were there together, guiding their hands. As he stepped back to admire the children's various masterpieces, he felt a swell of pride and connection to the universe of creativity. He looked down at the locket hanging from his neck. The warmth of it against his chest flooded him with emotions, reminding him of their unbreakable bond. She was with him, whispering encouragement as he poured his heart into creative expression. Eventually, the day came for Sam to unveil his vision, a mural that captured the spirit of his mother, inspired by their shared love for art and storytelling. He gathered everyone in the yard, unveiling a vibrant mural that depicted a carousel illuminated by swirling colors, children dancing and laughing, all under a vast, starlit sky. It was a tribute not only to his mother's memories, but a beacon of hope and resilience for all who had once felt lost or invisible. The children gasped, their eyes aglow with wonder and awe. Sam turned to face them, his heart swelling with gratitude as he addressed them. "This mural is a celebration of our spirits, of love, creativity, and connection. Just like my mom taught me, never let go of your colors. Share them with the world." Cheers erupted, and the sounds of laughter echoed off the crumbling train cars. His mother's spirit enveloped him in a warm embrace, surrounding him with love, completion, and fulfillment. As days turned into weeks, this vibrant community thrived amid the remnants of darkness. The letters he had uncovered continued to guide him, each word pulsing with passion and possibility. His relationship with Lydia deepened, becoming a friendship rooted in understanding and warmth. They shared stories often, laughing, supporting one another as they reflected on the legacies they were building. In time, Sam returned to that small oak trunk where the letters were kept, knowing they had become more than just words. They had infused his life with love, igniting a spark that would carry him forward. On a quiet evening, he found himself standing in front of the mural, now a testament to resilience and remembrance. Hand resting on the cool surface of the painted carousel, he whispered a silent vow to carry his mother's spirit with him always. "Thank you, Mom," he murmured, "for every letter that brought me home." With the setting sun casting golden hues across the train yard, Sam's heart brimmed with gratitude and fulfillment, ready to embrace all that lay ahead. This journey of discovery had transformed not only his past but had ignited a light that would guide him into a future rich with hope, love, and the promise of dreams realized. Beyond the colors and stories lay the gift of connection, the unwavering bond between a mother and her son, undying and infinite, thriving in the tapestry of life they both had created together. As the weeks turned into months, the train yard transformed into a haven of creativity and laughter. Sam continued to cultivate this community space, where children gathered to explore their emotions through the vibrant medium of art. They were not just drawing and painting. They were weaving a tapestry of hope, resilience, and healing, stitching together the threads of their diverse stories into a collective narrative. Sam watched as they blossomed into confident young artists, their creations reflecting the beauty born from shared experiences and pain. With every Saturday that came, their bond deepened, intertwining like the bold colors on their canvases. Amidst the joyful noise, Sam took on the role of a mentor, encouraging them to channel their feelings into their art. One child, Mia, once quiet and reserved, began to emerge from her shell. Through painting, she found her voice. It was thrilling for Sam to watch her confidence grow, especially as she unveiled a painting of a butterfly, vibrant and delicate, that represented her transformation. "It's beautiful, Mia," he said, his pride palpable. Energized by the children's enthusiasm, Sam felt inspired to organize an art exhibition. "Let's showcase everything we've been working on and share our stories with the world," he proposed, excitement bubbling inside him. The children exchanged glances, wide-eyed, and the air crackled with anticipation. They began brainstorming, filling the yard with sounds of chatter, their imaginations igniting as they planned every detail of the event. Over the next few weeks, they worked tirelessly, painting, polishing, and preparing for a day that would mark a significant moment in their journey as artists and friends. As Sam helped them set up, hanging colorful banners and arranging the artworks, a sense of fulfillment washed over him. Their efforts transformed the once rundown train yard into a breathtaking artistic landscape, a place where the light of creativity pierced through shadows of despair. The day of the exhibition arrived, and the sun smiled down on them, warming the air and filling their hearts with joy. Families from the neighborhood filed in, intrigued by the buzz of excitement. As Sam stood at the entrance, greeting each guest, he felt a swell of pride and connection. People of all ages wandered through the installations, their eyes lighting up as they took in the stories conveyed through the children's artwork. Mia, now a radiant centerpiece of their exhibition, took on the role of a guide, leading visitors through her creations and the creations of her friends. "This was inspired by my butterfly," she explained, her voice shaking with a mix of fear and excitement. Sam watched, heart soaring, as the other children gathered around, sharing their own inspirations and connecting over the art that flowed from their hearts. As dusk approached, casting a beautiful glow across the yard, Sam gathered everyone to express his gratitude. "Thank you for all your hard work," he began, looking at the sea of eager, hopeful faces. "This exhibition showcases not just our art, but the strength and unity we've built together. Each piece here is a reflection of our journeys of love, loss, and healing." Mia spoke up, her courage growing with the support of her friends. "And thank you, Sam. You helped us find our voices." Her heartfelt words echoed in the warm evening air, prompting cheers and applause. The energy swelled, engulfing everyone in an embrace of sincerity and love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Sam felt the weight of the evening settle pleasantly on his shoulders. This was not merely an exhibition, but a community gathered in a shared experience, a collection of lives intertwined by art. He stood above the painted carousel of the mural, watching families discuss their favorite pieces, and the laughter of children who had once felt alone echoed around him. A beautiful symphony of connection. As the night progressed, the yard blossomed with conversations and interactions. Neighbors exchanged stories, sharing how the children's art had deeply impacted their lives. The sound of joy and laughter filled the air, eradicating any lingering echoes of isolation. Sam felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment wash over him. This journey had not only brought the community together, it had created an enduring legacy. It felt as if with every laugh shared, with every story told, they were weaving strength into their fabric, a fabric rich with colors of hope, healing, and resilience. Later that evening, as the last guest began to depart and the starlit sky enveloped the yard, Sam found himself alone in front of the mural, a glowing symbol of their collective journey. He rested his hand against the painted surface, his heart swelling with emotion. "Your spirit is here with us, Mom," he thought, feeling her loving presence envelop him, guiding his heart. With his heart filled with joy and gratitude, Sam whispered, "Thank you for leading me to this moment." As he slowly walked home, the warmth of the successful evening wrapped around him like a cozy blanket. His thoughts swirled. He envisioned a future where the art community continued to thrive, a space where creativity flowed freely, blossoming into a beautiful garden of dreams nurtured by shared love and compassion. By the time he reached his doorstep, Sam realized the true gift he had received, the understanding that one could find hope in shared stories and connection. The journey, while still in progress, had changed him in ways he could never have imagined. As he stepped into his home, he felt a profound sense of peace settle within him, knowing he would carry forward the legacy of love and creativity his mother had gifted him, a flame that would continue to shine brightly in every heart they touched. As the days unfolded after the exhibition, Sam felt the afterglow of that transformative evening lingering in the air. The train yard had become a sanctuary, a place where creativity knew no bounds, and every child discovered their unique voice within the walls of their newfound community. Sam often returned to the area, witnessing the children's joy as they painted, collaborated, and engaged with one another. He cherished the moments of laughter and enthusiasm that rippled through the yard, a living testament to their growth and the bonds they had forged. One afternoon, as the sun cast warm rays through the leaves, Sam noticed Mia sitting on the grass, a sketchbook perched in her lap. She looked lost in thought, pencil hesitating just above the paper. Sam approached quietly, interested in what had captured her imagination. "Hey Mia, what are you working on?" he asked gently. Mia looked up, her eyes brightening. "I'm trying to draw a tree," she replied, her voice soft but confident. "But I want it to be special, kind of like the mural." Sam sat down beside her. "What makes a tree special for you?" he encouraged, keen to dive into her thoughts. After a moment's pause, Mia spoke. "The tree represents life and growth. It's like us. We're all growing because of what we've discovered together." Her words struck a chord within Sam. He realized that through their artistic exploration, the children not only transformed their pain, but also delved into deeper meanings of growth, resilience, and renewal. "You know, Mia," Sam said thoughtfully, "what you said about growth is so profound. Trees remind us that even when storms come, we can still stand tall and thrive." Mia nodded, a smile spreading across her face as she started sketching the trunk more boldly, filling it with vibrant colors. Inspired, Sam picked up a spare piece of chalk from a nearby box and began doodling alongside her, shaping a sprawling tree with sprawling branches. As they created, Sam thought about the ripple effects their exhibition had sparked in the community. Neighbors began to stop by more frequently, mingling with the children, sharing their own artistic skills. Some had backgrounds in music, others in dance or photography, and soon workshops began to flourish. The train yard evolved into a burst of creativity, a space where art became a collective heartbeat of unity, transforming isolation into a vibrant dialogue of shared experiences. Days turned into weeks again, and as one sunny Saturday afternoon neared, the children and Sam decided it was time for another event, a community art fair. "We'll have everyone showcase their talents," Sam suggested, "and invite people to join us for some fun activities." The excitement rippled through the group, and plans began to take shape as they brainstormed ideas and divided responsibilities. On the day of the fair, the yard was alive with color and energy. Tables brimmed with art supplies, homemade treats, and pieces created by every child. Laughter echoed as families joined in the festivities. Music filled the air, and the aroma of baked goods wafted through the yard, drawing in more neighbors. Sam took a moment to step back and absorb the scene. Children twisted balloons into shapes, painted faces, and collaborated on murals, all while community members explored the art on display. With every smile exchanged and every story shared, he could see the blossoming relationships forming around him, much like the growth he had once envisioned. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Sam gathered everyone for a brief moment of reflection. Standing before the mural that had started it all, he felt a wave of gratitude. This mural represents not only our journey but also the connections we've built together. Every piece of art here tells a story of resilience and hope. Together we are stronger. Cheering erupted, and laughter mingled with applause. Sam reveled in the bright faces surrounding him, the joy resonating deeply in his heart. It was a celebration of life, a vivid reminder that connection and creativity could light the way through even the darkest of times. As the day wound down and twilight draped its soft blanket over the yard, Sam felt a sense of completeness. He understood that the journey of healing was ongoing, yet it was beautifully enriched by the relationships formed with these children and their shared stories. It was with a profound sense of fulfillment that he whispered to the wind, "Thank you, Mom, for guiding me to create not just art but a space for love, connection, and growth." Satisfied with the legacy they were nurturing, Sam looked towards the future with anticipation, knowing this was only the beginning of a remarkable chapter for all of them. The art community would flourish, and in time the creativity sparked by their experiences would ripple far beyond the train yard, transforming lives in ways they couldn't yet imagine.